Welcome to the Science of Gratitude podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Valerie Mukanga, and each week we'll explore how gratitude transforms our lives through powerful stories and insights. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Science of Gratitude podcast. It is such an honor to have you hop on again to listen to the stories that we share week after week. Thank you so much. We do appreciate you. We are grateful for you. And so today I have a great guest. Her name is Gaby Udabor, and I am going to actually have her introduce herself to the audience. So, Miss Gaby, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, hello. So excited to be here. I am Gaby Udabor, and I am married and a mother of 5 kids. I am a holistic nurse practitioner, a functional medicine health consultant, and also a hair tissue mineral analysis expert. So, I've been in the health field, I don't know, almost more than almost 20 years, I would say. But, just going through my journey from training as from the Western medicine model into being now a holistic nurse practitioner, it has come through different things that has led me to where I am. Here, I am also a woman of faith. So it's a big part in my life journey as well. And so you know, just here, doing different things to help people how they can live fully, embodying mind, body, and spirit. So that's me.
In a nutshell, and it is a lot. It is a lot.
I have a lot of things I could talk, but that's enough. Maybe as we go further, more, we hear more stories about me.
Yeah, so the way I met Miss Gaby, I was in a mentorship program and we were encouraged to go and become guests in people's podcasts. And so Miss Gaby was the first podcast that I had been on. And I think you remember that, right? Because
Yes, I actually saw a message. I was looking through some things. I saw the message when you were, I think you were a little nervous, like, how does it go? Where is the link?
I was super nervous. She says I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my goodness. But the thing is, when I hopped on her podcast as I was going home, coming from work to go and do the recording, I was asking God, I said, what am I going to be talking about? Because I believe it was, what are some things that, some setbacks that you had experienced
Yeah.
that, and that you overcame, and how did you overcome those things? And so I was praying. I was like, what do we talk about? What do we talk about? And I just fell in my heart, from the Lord that I should speak about how I repeated a year in dental school. And I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not, God. We are not doing that. Like, why would you put me out there like that? Like, why would you embarrass me? And why should I embarrass myself?
Yeah.
Because it was like, the first time I had ever repeated a year and the last time. And so as soon as I got home, I spoke to one of my coach. Her name is Dr. Carolyn. And I told her that. She's like, you know what? Doc, it's going to be great because there's so many people who go through the same situation, but nobody wants to talk about it. And I
Yeah.
said, seriously? Well, I guess if you put it that way. And so that was my breakthrough, Miss Gaby. Before then, that was my before and after. I never mentioned that to anyone, even to the point that when people ask me how many years dental school, I'd be like 4 years. How many
We
years
just
did it
leave it
take?
that way. 4 years.
How many years did it take you? It's a 4-year program,
Yeah.
but ever since I hopped on the Gaby
Mm.
U show, I've been delivered from that shame. And so thank you so much. That's why I said that your show impacted me.
Oh,
And
that is so
from that
awesome.
as well, I was inspired as well,
Yeah.
to become a podcaster as well. So you have actually helped me in more ways that you would know. Thank you. I
Yeah.
wanted to let you know that.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. That
So
is so
now
awesome. That's your testimony.
it is. So I just wanted to, tell the world that you have brought tremendous impact in my life without
Yeah.
even knowing it. So thank you for being you, and thank you for doing what you do.
Yes. I'm
So
so excited. Thank
now
you. You're
I would
welcome.
like to so now I'd like to ask you in your own terms, Gabby, how do you define gratitude?
Well, wow, that is very big. So I would say the way I would define gratitude is, no matter what situation you find yourself,
Yes.
is finding peace and joy, bringing that out, no
Mm,
matter where you find yourself, because there's always something to be grateful for.
right.
And it's like there's always something. And this is something that is a big part, when you sing your name of your podcast, and I was like, wow, she's speaking my language. Because this is something that anytime I'm working with any of my patients or my clients, we always bring that up. It's
Mm,
always a part of the healing process.
yeah.
Like, you could be doing all the good food and this, but if you don't have that heart of gratitude,
Mm,
your healing process can be a little slower,
mm,
you know.
mhm,
So finding that joy and peace, no matter how the situation you are,
mhm.
because there is always something to be grateful. I've had somebody one time I was talking, I was like, there's something, tell me what you're grateful for. And they're like, there's nothing for me to be grateful. You're talking to me? Some people cannot talk. There is always something that
Right.
So that's just I
I
would say.
love it. So
Yeah.
finding joy and peace no matter what situation you're going through.
Yes.
That's very good. That's very good because many times you go through situations that really make us cry or
Oh
make
yeah.
us angry or make us regret so many things. But as you told the lady, you are speaking
Mhm.
to me. Just being grateful for that because some people are not able to speak and
Yeah.
some people will never be able to speak
You're
again,
right.
either because they lost maybe their vocal cords or because they're no longer with us. So
Yes, that's
yeah.
it.
Mm. Thank you so much. I love it. I love so now we're going to dive into your gratitude story.
So, I mean, there is, I think I would start out that for me, the thing that I'm very grateful for is that the skills that God has blessed me with.
Yeah.
And so that is one part of it. And also
Mhm.
that I'm using those gifts,
Mhm.
skills,
Mhm.
that I'm not hiding it under the rock.
Right, right,
I'm
right.
using it.
Mhm.
That is something that I'm grateful for.
Mhm.
That, and this has led me to different things that have happened to in my life. And
Mhm.
I will share with my journey
Mhm.
of being a holistic nurse practitioner as a functional medicine nurse practitioner that
Mhm.
has gotten me into this world where, learning about functional medicine. So it came out from my own, personal journey of the
Mm.
things I went through with my health. I supposedly was supposed to be a healthy person, but I knew there was something going on. So I had the thing of for over 10 years,
Mhm.
I would say I struggled with gut issues and going from one GI doctor to the other,
Mhm.
trying to find out what's wrong with me, give me prescriptions, antibiotics. Girl, I went through a different antibiotics you can think of,
Wow.
and the thing is that I had one particular infection, which is called H. pylori infection,
Mm.
which is the bacteria that is found in the gut,
Mhm.
which when it's overgrow, it can cause a lot of problems. I mean, the biggest thing can cause gastric cancer, but it can cause a lot of problems, bloating, low stomach acid, so many things.
Mhm.
So that was one of the things. Of course, I had more, but that one was bothering me a lot.
Right.
But I've always been that person that I have dealt with so many gut issues. I just feel
Mhm.
like even just smelling food, I'll feel bloated. Just like oh, if I eat anything, drink water, I'm bloated. It was just a lot of things that was going on that I felt like I was healthy, but I'm not. And then I feel like I'm tired, and then you're trying to raise kids, you're trying to work, you come back and feel like, what is wrong with me? There's something going to doctors on and on. And anytime I'm going, and this is over the time when I kind of started healing, I started looking, what's the reason I go to the doctor? And I was looking
Mhm.
at my medical records.
Mhm.
Abdominal pain. That's the thing I always going to the doctor for. And it
Wow.
took them time to really like, okay, let's do some more tests. I said, oh, you have this infection. Okay, let's treat you with these antibiotics. And normally with this particular H. pylori,
Mhm.
80% of the time, if you treat it with antibiotics, most people will get relief of it. But for me,
Okay.
it didn't work. And
Mm.
so it's like was a blessing in disguise, I would say somehow.
Mhm.
Because that frustration, I mean, to tell you how bad it was, that after working with a bunch of GI doctors looking for all the antibiotics that would work, it wasn't working. They got tired of me. They sent me to an infectious disease doctor. And that's like, okay, we cannot work with you. Let's go. They'll send me to the infectious disease doctor. That one too. He just looked at all the antibiotics that I haven't reacted to and said, okay, let's choose this.
Let's try that one.
And so after going through that and through so many of those things, messing my guts the more,
Wow.
and the result came, and
Mhm.
that was that was if you call it the turning point. I looked
Okay.
at the results. I was so positive for that infection.
Mhm.
I was like, really? And that's what I was like. I was like, I am done. In
Mhm.
fact, I was in a state where I was like, I don't even want to be a nurse practitioner because like
Anymore.
I can't help myself. So who am I going to be helping? I'm just nagging with my husband, like, I don't know, maybe I should go be a nutritionist, a dietitian or something, because I've always been interested in that part.
Mhm.
But, and even when working with my patients, I always feel like there was more because, like, yeah, I can write prescriptions, I can do that. And I've always worked in a system where I feel I'm always being rushed,
Mhm.
all that. I feel like there's more. I know I would like to teach them about, lifestyle style food, even though I didn't, because I feel that that's not really taught a lot in schools,
Right.
like that. They don't have time
Mhm.
to teach us all that. But with all those frustration, I was just tired of the whole system. Like, I
Right.
don't want to see any doctor. I don't want to be in this profession.
Mhm.
And just, I was praying. Say, God, I pray every day. And I think this is where He led me to
Mhm.
this functional provider, which somehow she was my friend on Facebook. I don't know how she was my friend, but I was always looking at her picture. She's a functional provider. She
Uh-huh.
has all these things. She's talking about functional medicine. I was there like stalking her, looking at all the videos. And then I messaged her. I was like, hey, can I be your patient, your client? I have this problem. And she's like, yeah, she told me the steps how I can schedule with her. Girl, I am scheduling, making the appointment really quick.
Mhm.
And I had the appointment. She's like, "Oh, okay. Do you have your labs? Have you done any labs? Do you think you can send them?" Oh yeah,
Mhm.
24 hours. I'm saying she's like, "Wow, you're fast." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready.
I need answer.
I need help." I was very desperate.
Yeah.
So this is where she started working with me. And I'm telling you, the first visit we have is usually, it was a long, like almost more than an hour visit. And she
Mm.
went through the whole process of, just looking at my labs, both the old labs I've done and everything and my symptoms. And that's where I mean, the way she saw me, I was just like amazed. And I
Wow.
was like, school did you go to? Like, man, I like this little school. I have never had a practitioner that has gone deep with my health like this
Right.
and seeing things that I didn't understand. And she was just asking me questions, my stress level, how am I sleeping, the food I'm
Mhm.
eating, and I was just like, nobody has really dug deep into things
Right.
like this. And I was very impressed. And so to cut the story short, I was like, first of all, yeah, I want to work with you. I
Mhm.
told her I'm going to be a good student. Anything you tell me, I'm doing. Secondly, tell me the school you went to because I need to register and be.
Right.
So that was how, she started working with me for my health. And this
Mhm.
is where I discovered, yes, I was dealing with the gut issues, with the H.
Mhm.
pylori, which I had other things going on with
Mhm.
my gut. And then she suspected, she's like, I think you also have an autoimmune problem too.
Wow.
Have they ever really checked you? I was like, I don't, And so I did more tests, and yeah, I did have Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune disease of your thyroid, which
Mm.
explains all these things that are going on too. And so
Right.
this is how all the system, and she started working with me, and in 6 months, I was seeing myself. I
Mm.
could see the light. Like I was like, oh my goodness,
Mhm.
really,
Mm.
And so this is where since that time, so this is like 2018, that's where that year, and that was when I started like, I want to practice like this. I think I can still be in this profession because now I know I have the options. So those things, like, I am very grateful that, and this is where I was talking at the beginning about being grateful and bringing the joy and the peace,
And the
like in
peace.
whatever situation you are. And like, I'm grateful that I went through that journey. Yes, it
Mhm.
was painful, but it has brought me to the level of where I am right now, that I'm able
Mhm.
to make that impact now, to
Mhm.
be able to help people, help my family. I would say save my marriage because I don't know who that person was when I was, because there was a lot of things that I was just not myself. I'm
Yeah.
angry and irritated,
Uh-huh.
like snapping,
Wow.
and, so it has saved me a lot of
Mhm.
time. And I'm grateful
Mhm.
for that journey that I have gone through that has led me to where. So this is where turning my lemons into sweet lemonade.
Right. Right. Just as
Um,
you said, there's always in everything something to be grateful for. So
yeah,
now you're looking at the fact that you were sick that led you to, not being treated properly, to finally finding help, and not only finding help for yourself, but
yeah,
now you try to find to help others who are also
yes,
in similar situations. Did
yeah.
you end up going to the school or did you
Oh,
just
I
have to do
did.
some
I
training?
did. I went. Yeah, well, I went to the school.
How much longer did it take you?
How long did it take me?
Mhm.
Because the school is very, I mean, once you start, you can start. The name of the school is, and I did other courses later on, little
Mhm.
things here, and I just built in myself.
Mhm.
School of Applied Functional Medicine. So think about it,
Okay.
applied. Like
Right.
you are right there. When you start, you can start.
Mm.
It was a really good school. So yeah, as my functional provider was helping me, I
Mhm.
was also, I was in school, so I was using myself too to learn, as well, putting all these aspects together. So she was helping me. I was already a student. Yeah, I mean, when I saw her, I think the next month I signed up. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I'm like, man, I can still be in the health field. Like, I don't want to deal with any of this. But it has opened so many
Doors.
doors and just the whole being, because this is the thing that how your physical health can affect your spiritual health, your
Mhm.
spiritual health can affect your physical health. It's like all of them, your emotional health, all of them just kind
All
of blend.
intertwined.
And so it's feel like it's opened that doors to even want to keep growing in my
Mhm.
spiritual level. Of course, my spiritual level kind of helped me through
Mhm.
to be able to I don't know, it kind of helped me through that. God led me to this person. There is something.
Mhm.
And that's where, me working with people always, I mean, I would say 80% of people I work with, they're
Mhm.
people of faith. And I always bring that aspect of
Mhm.
that they should always be aware that that spiritual component is there, that
Yes.
they are fighting against forces that you don't see, and
Mhm.
always recommend them that they need to be on top of their game in terms
Mhm.
of staying strong in prayers, possible
Mhm.
prayers,
Mhm.
because whatever they're trying to do, because I have seen that a lot. I
Mhm.
think now even more I can really discern
Mhm.
and know when my clients are battling something beyond, and I
What the
tell
eyes
them,
can see.
like you have to pray because some of them ask me, like, I feel like there is something I'm battling that is beyond what I'm seeing. I'm like, yep, you got to pray about it because it's one of those things. I had one patient one time was saying that how is it now that she's trying to really take care of herself and invest in her health and do the good stuff. Now she has some other issues that are coming that she had never really seen. I said,
Before.
the work of the enemy. He's
Mhm.
not happy that he knows where you are going to be when you
Mhm.
get better. He doesn't want you to be. So there will be a fight
Mhm.
and have to be strong and pray about this for yourself and pray for me too. That is
Mhm.
helping you so I can give me the knowledge and wisdom to help you as well. But it's just amazing how all these things of the journey, it just grows you. And this is where I am always very particular about not just your physical. We got to work on our physical, have to work with our spiritual, emotional. All those things are has to all be there for us
Mhm.
to really get that healing we really need. We can't just separate them. So yeah.
Thank you
Mhm.
so much. Thank you so very much. Yes, it's very important to, I mean, we are being that, we have a soul, we have a body, we have a
Mhm.
spirit. And so we are a spirit. And so basically it's important. Everything is, as you said, is
Mhm.
intertwined. It's important for you to not only take care of your body, but also to take care of your soul and also to take
Mhm.
care, of your spirit. Because,
Yes.
if you really want to be whole, you have to be altogether whole.
Yes.
Thank you so much for saying that. So now for somebody who doesn't know what that means, what is holistic and functional medicine in a nutshell?
So I know they it could be that it's separate, but there's a very thing how it links. So when we talk about holistic, it's looking at the whole person, mind,
Mhm,
body, and spirit.
mhm,
Okay. So
mhm,
that's in the holistic, but I mean, and then functional, I would say is looking at the root causes, you
mhm,
know.
mhm,
So if you are, so not just, I would say beyond diagnosis. So for
mhm,
example, now it's like, okay, I have high blood pressure. All right.
mhm, mhm,
So in the way of looking at it as a functional level is
mhm.
that, okay, now let's see why you have, okay, yes, we can give you blood pressure medicine to help
Right.
it, but let's see, why do you have high blood pressure? Is
Mhm,
it that you are not eating very well, you are overweight,
mhm,
you have some things that you are not dealing well with? Are you
mhm.
reacting to some certain thing in the environment, inflammation, you know,
Are you exercising?
genetics? Okay, well,
Mhm,
sometimes we over go on that genetics because I've had
mhm.
people, my clients, they'll be like, well, my mom has blood pressure, my dad has blood pressure. That means I'm going to have blood pressure.
Not
I'm like,
necessarily.
no, no, no.
Mhm,
We have the bulb, but we don't have to turn the light on. Yes, you do have the genetics,
mhm.
but we now know that we what we call epigenetics, that
Right.
we can transform this with lifestyle changes. It doesn't
Mhm,
have to.
mhm.
Yes, you have a high risk, but it doesn't have to be. You know,
Right.
we don't need to turn the light on.
I like.
So that's where, with functional medicine, we're looking at those root causes. Like, what is that? So when we know that, like, okay, now, like, how do we start tweaking things? I mean, of course, me being I do one of my specialty area is a big thing for my, with my working with my clients, is the mineral testing
Mhm.
for minerals, because minerals are like your raw materials that if they are not in balance, it can mess up a lot of things. So again, that's another thing. When I do those tests, I'm able to see those balance of the minerals, see heavy metals. I can even see what's happening in different parts in terms of your systems, your
Mhm,
adrenal, your stress, your metabolic rate. So it's a very whole thing with the testing I do. So those are the things, like we're looking at those root causes. So
mhm,
in terms of like with the minerals, I have been able to help people that we balance their minerals, that they don't need so much of the prescription medicine.
mhm,
It lowers it. Because
mhm.
I've had people, they'll be like, oh, keep on increasing. Like, for example, I deal a lot with people with thyroid issues,
Okay.
like autoimmune thyroid stuff, a lot of that. And I've
Right.
had people, they'll be like, okay, they keep on, when they come to see me, it's like, oh, they keep on increasing my thyroid medicine and
Mhm,
I am not getting better. I still have low thyroid, dry hair,
mhm, mhm.
dry skin,
Mm.
can't lose weight, tired. Why is it? And then when I do the mineral testing, I'm able to see some of the particular minerals that they are deficient in. And that is why it cannot, the medicine, they keep taking the medicine, but you don't have the raw materials, which is your minerals. And
Right.
so it affects all this stuff. So that's like, yeah, we don't do that. Then we fix on that, plus with from what you're eating, targeted supplementation, bringing all these things. So we're talking about holistic now,
Mhm.
intertwining that with functional is
Right.
that now I'm looking at other things. Do we have some trauma from the past or
Mm,
what we're dealing with right now?
mm,
You have some things, there are different ways of trauma, how you grew up, what happened to you when you were little. Because when I do my intake form, when you are
mhm.
seeing for the first time, it's very detailed. Like
Okay.
everything. I want to know everything. I want to be on your grill. I want to know being holistic is not just, yeah, I'm here for a headache. Okay, just we're gonna go all around from the
Right.
beginning, from the birth. How were you born? You are a woman that have babies. Did you have an easy pregnancy? Did you get pregnant easily? You know,
Mhm.
we got all around. Who is going to support you if you're going to work with me? So, you're working? Do you like your job?
Mm,
That's all it is. So this is where talking about holistic. Now we're looking at all right, and then functional, more like the root causes, which they kind of intertwine pretty much. So yeah, so that's how,
I love it. So if somebody finds that they are now in need of a physician or
Mhm,
a medical provider who
mhm.
is, aligned in such a way, meaning a functional or holistic,
Yeah.
How do they do that? Where do they go?
If they want to work with a functional or holistic, okay, well, they can come to me.
But suppose they're not in Dallas.
Well, okay, so yeah. So the way for me, I do actually walk all around,
Mm,
international too. So yes. Okay. When I do, yeah, of course they can come to me, or you can just search in your area, say, the keywords like
mhm,
holistic practitioner or functional provider in your area.
mhm.
If you type that on Google, things will pop out,
They pop up. Okay.
So for I do, see people. So when I do work with people um in Texas, I'm
Mhm,
able to I can go further and do, if I have to do prescriptions, I
mhm,
can, because I have the license for that. But if you are out of Texas or
mhm,
international,
mhm.
I will work as with you as a health coach, as a health consultant. I will
Gotcha.
not be doing any prescriptions or anything, of course, because I
Okay.
don't have license. So I do work with everybody. If
I
you have
see.
an internet, we can work. Yes, I can work with you. So yeah, but yeah, if you are in an area where you're like, okay, I need somebody, you can just do that. Just search. Those are your keywords. Holistic practitioners, functional
Function.
medicine practitioners, you will see things pop up.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. So now let me ask you this, Miss Gabi. Is there anything else that you're working on that you would like the world to know about?
Yes. So, of course, I can see everybody from babies to 100 years old, but really, I am trying to focus more on working with perimenopausal moms with young kids who are dealing with chronic fatigue.
Okay.
So at the moment, I can do one-on-one with anybody, but I'm building one of a kind program. It's going to be a group program where I'm going to be focusing on this group of women. So
Mhm.
it's called the Flourish Woman Roadmap. So that is the name that I feel I have put in because I want people to flourish.
Yeah.
Flourish like the flower, flourish. So I'm building that program. So all things being equal, um, before this year is ended, I will have that group program out there.
Mhm.
So with that program, it's going to be a lot, there will be, of course, we're working in a group. There will be chance to do different kind of labs as needed. There
Mhm.
will be cooking classes,
Mhm.
and you just have a whole library of things that I'll be supporting women with. So you will not be Googling around. I tell people, I say, I will be your Google. So you will gonna have opportunity to pick my brain if you're in that program. But like I said, I'm building the program. But if you want to see me, like you see this podcast, like I want to see Gabby right now. Yes, you can still see, I still do the one-on-one. But that program I'm doing is, am I gonna be my baby? I'm growing that baby. So right now I'm pregnant for that. And yeah, it's growing. But yeah, if you want to see me right now, you can still see me. And that's what I'm working on. And
So tell me what has inspired you
hmm,
to want to do this program, the Flourish Women Roadmap?
yeah. So actually the program, I had already worked with 5 women, but now
Okay.
I'm actually reinventing it. But
Mm,
right now, like why I decided, like I've had that name, the Flourish Woman Roadmap, but kind
mhm.
of like which women do I want to work with? So I think if your question is why this particular group of
Particular.
women, so
Right.
I feel that that area, these women need a lot of help.
Okay.
There are different kind of people that are perimenopausal, but mine is for the perimenopausal mom
Mm,
that has young kids dealing with chronic fatigue.
okay.
So that is the group that I like being called. Like I have been kind of working with different people, and I feel like that group, they need that special help, and
Mm,
it can be ignored, and there are things that they are not understanding. And I'm like,
mhm.
this is where I feel like I'm called right now. I'm in that season too in my life. I mean, I have 5 kids. I know some of them are grown, but I do have a little one.
I hear one cry at this point.
Yeah, you can hear him. Oh my, I can
It's okay.
he's hanging out with daddy. Sorry about that.
It's
But
okay. You're
yeah,
gonna do what kids do.
yeah, so that is my so I did have my last on the baby at
Yeah.
40. We're 41. I had him at 41. So
Okay.
what advanced maternal age. So I'm finding
Right.
a lot of women. So this is where I've just kind of been studying different things the women are working with. There are a lot of people having babies older now. So now
Yes.
we have women who are having a little one, you're dealing with perimenopause. Trying to deal with a young kid, you're fatigued because now you have, especially the ones if they have a bunch of kids,
Mhm.
bam, 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 because it's like, hey, I don't have much time to waste. And now you are depleted of your nutrients. So this is where this program, and even if it's one-on-one, where I'm bringing in the minerals because many women are depleted now.
Okay.
And so that's who, you've never recovered from that process of having your kids and you're dealing
Mhm.
with where you're like, and then you are dealing with perimenopause. It's like, bam, that one hits you too. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my God. So
Mhm.
this is where I want to have the opportunity that, to be educating women that, they are not crazy. There's something going on. It's not in your head, which is a common thing. People say, yeah, it's just like, that's how I just deal with it. This, your mama dealt with this stuff. Now it's like, yeah.
So tell me, because I don't want to assume that someone understands what they may fit the description. They may need your help, but doesn't
Yeah.
the lady may not realize that she is the one that you're called to.
Yeah.
What is a perimenopause? And
Okay.
why do people feel like, things are in their head? What are these things that they're going through?
Yes. So perimenopause actually starts, I mean, some people can start earlier, but technically they can start from 35.
Okay.
So that's kind of the age between 35 to like 50.
Mm-hmm.
People will be in perimenopause. So perimenopause is before you become menopausal. Okay.
Okay.
So of course, to find that somebody is menopause is that you have not had a period for a whole year, then you
Okay.
are menopausal. But perimenopause is where now it's that period before menopause. You are still having your regular periods. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, you might start having irregular periods. So there are things that will start happening because your hormones are just going back and forth. So it
Okay.
start out with you start declining in progesterone.
Okay.
Progesterone starts getting declined, and then later on, estrogen will join in. And this is where some of all these things, of course, there are other things, of course, thyroid, all these things start happening. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, they might start having to be diagnosed that they have ADHD. You're like, man,
Okay.
I'm in this age now because some of the things, of course, estrogen sometimes regulates dopamine and all that. So there are many things that start happening that you are looking, but the bottom line is that if you are in the age of 35,
Mm-hmm.
you are probably 35 and above, you are
Mm-hmm.
probably perimenopausal.
And
Yeah.
how do they feel?
Oh, that's the thing that can be really confusing because
Okay.
you have different kind of things that you feel. Some
Okay.
of the ones commonly, of course, you can start having heavy bleeding.
Mhm.
You can start having brain fog. You just feel like, why am I always forgetting stuff?
Okay.
You can get irritated easily. You might
Okay.
find out you are not, waking up at 3 a.m. Waking up. You can start having the night sweats. I know they're always in menopause, but perimenopause, you could get night sweats or even just sweats, even during the day.
Mm,
It doesn't have to be, can be night, can be anytime. So those are some of the symptoms. You can start getting actually some gut issues too.
okay.
I mean, you could pretty much start getting a lot of stuff, but I think when you start seeing some of those symptoms,
Yes.
and you are in that age gap,
Means yes.
something to start like, okay, and being that, okay, if you have had kids, you are depleted in your nutrients. So this is why there is all these things that we are going to be looking at,
Mhm.
checking your minerals, looking at all the things you're doing, your lifestyle, your stress. Because again, if you're very stressed, your
Mhm.
hormones, your sex hormones are just going to be not working pretty good. Because when
Okay.
you are stressed, the body will prioritize the stress hormone, which is your cortisol, and it's going to
Mhm.
tell the sex hormones, hey, gotta wait. I'm dealing with stress hormones now. So again, a big thing is stress. So this is where when I'm working with my clients, we are bringing all
Mhm.
these things. What are the things that are stressing you? And when we talk about stress, stress can come in different forms. I mean, that's a
Okay.
very big one. The body doesn't know the difference. If
Mhm.
you have an infection, your body is stressed. If you have
Mm,
inflammation, if you have mental stress, you are not happy where you are, you're not happy with your marriage, you're not happy with your job, you are not happy with your parents or something,
mm,
your
mhm.
body's like stress. you know.
Mhm.
You're not sleeping well is stress. If you're not eating good, you're always eating junk foods, not eating things that are balanced, that's stress on your body. And
Mhm.
so another thing too, of course, is difficulty losing weight. You might find out you have this stomach budge. It's like, what is going on?
Right.
We have some women, we call them skinny fat because they look skinny, but their belly.
It's
So
big.
so that's like putting all the stresses on there. So there are a
Mm.
lot of things here and there that, you'll be like, okay, I always eat really good. I do exercise. When I do this before, it work. Why is it not working now? If you are in
Mhm.
that ages again, from 35 to 50, you are
Right.
in perimenopause. Of course, some people will get into menopause fast, you know, and if people that get into menopause fast, that's also some issues going on.
Mhm.
I have a bunch of people that I know they're already like in their early 40s, like no periods, not had periods for like 1 or 2 years. But when I go back and start looking their whole thing,
Mhm.
they have gone through so much stress that their body is just like, we done you know.
Oh, mhm.
So stress is a big one. So this is where I help. We're talking about all those things, how to regulate your nervous system, make your nervous system calm, things you can do,
Mhm.
having a routine before you go to bed, time alone, self-care, all those things,
Won
that I break into, looking at the whole thing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Flourish Women Roadmap. Wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
We learned a lot and thank you for sharing your story. I'm
Oh,
definitely grateful for it and just seeing how, you saw your own, path and kind of turn things around. You saw positivity even in the
yes.
hard season that you were dealing with. And
Yeah.
now you're able to turn it around, as we said, and help somebody else. Thank you so much
Yes.
for doing that because some people, they go through situation and they're like, it's me against the world, or they just put up walls, or they just, become this bitter person and they don't want to help anybody else. Or if they find help for themselves, it's help for themselves and not
Like
for
my
anyone else.
own. Yeah.
Thank you for not, going that route. And thank you for letting the good Lord use you to become a source of inspiration to others.
Yes. I'm honored to do that.
So say for instance, if somebody wanted to work with you, how do they actually find you? Where do they find you? And
I'm everywhere. Well, so I do. So you can find, I have my website. So the name of my uh, health the program or my website is called Curanova.
okay.
So we just see. So it's like new health. It's kind of, I don't know if a French word or it Curanova Holistics. So that is the name of my health practice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just go to the website curanovaholistics.com, you will see how to connect with me there. I'm also
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. I'm
Mm-hmm.
Curanova Holistics.
Mm-hmm.
In Facebook, Curanova Holistics. I'm also on TikTok too as well. Uh,
Okay.
yes, you can find me Gabby on
Kiranova
yeah,
Holistics.
yeah. I don't know if I have it Curanova Holistics in TikTok, but it's just
Okay.
Gabby. If you say Gaby Udabor, you can find me on TikTok. But for my Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
my Facebook is Curanova Holistics, and then my website is curanovaholistics.com. And so you have a form there. You can connect me, send me a message, say how can you work with me, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have links to all my other things there. If you go to my website or Instagram, I have links I do have a cooking channel where I do some healthy foods. I do have a podcast, but I have some seasons of podcasts, so you can binge on all the podcasts. You can see Dr. Valerie there too. I've done 3 seasons. I hope to resume next year. I just have
Yeah.
like I have to do this year. But yeah, so if you go there, you're gonna see all the links.
And that's the Gabi U show, correct?
Yeah, the Gabby U Show is the podcast, and
Mm.
then the cooking channel is Gabby U Healthy Kitchen. So that is
Gabi U.
the cooking channel. So yeah, and
You
the
do a
podcast, of
whole
course,
lot,
you have it
sister.
on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. So that's
You
it.
do a whole lot. You do a whole lot. Keep going. Keep going.
Yes, yes. So yeah, that's me. That's all, I would love to connect with you. And I also have, if you like, okay, I need to have questions, I can offer 15 to 20 minutes, like a free call just to kind of understand how we can
Mm-hmm.
work. And like I say, if you go to my website, you'll see some options of how you want to do. If you just want to do a test to figure out what you want to do before you fully work with me, the option is there as well. So
wonderful. And we'll make sure to put all this information in the description of the episode so
yes,
that people don't have to, look, watch, pause,
right.
to
Yeah.
get all the things that you have
Yeah,
to.
so you give it all. They hear it, they see it, and yeah,
Yes.
yes, that's
All right.
right.
Well, thank you so very much for blessing us with your presence today on the Science of Gratitude podcast. It was truly a pleasure. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope that someone who is in need of your help can actually, find this hope and reach out to you so that they can find healing for their journey in a
Yeah.
holistic and in a functional way.
Yes.
So that being said, everyone, we shall see you next week. You take care. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Science of Gratitude podcast. If this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, share it, and leave us a review. Your support helps us keep spreading the power of gratitude. And until next time, stay grateful. God bless you.